No, I think they've got, let's see, in the red there. I can't quite tell who's at the back of that. Milan Menton's always got the pedigree to be involved in a finish like this, and this is a really tasty, actually much more pure sprinters finish today.
I tend to assume Lotto will be looking towards Menton. Because he would certainly have come into the race as their designated sprinter.
Yeah. I wonder how much yesterday's result by Van Balen in fourth might have maybe switched that. We will see. They are in the red right in the middle. Groupama FDG have got 4 or 5 riders there. They're led at the moment by yesterday's breakaway artist, Oscar Nilsson Julian, the Frenchman. That corner hasn't helped. That's mixed things up a bit. There is Paul Magnier in that yellow jersey, right in the middle of the shot back there, and he's right alongside Lukasz Kubiš. We could be looking at a replay of yesterday's finish, and there's the 2 riders that Hutch and I both picked, and an attack down the right-hand side of the road here. And this attack is coming from Biese Carrera Premac, the Italian team. And the rider who's attacking is Federico Iacamoni. Now, there's a rider whose name I've never said before. Federico Iacamoni, the Italian 23-year-old for Biese Carrera Premac. That's a nice move. It shows it's doable, Hutch, at this late stage.
Yeah. The speed of the bunch is not so high that you can't get away from it. The difficulty is recovering from that initial jump and then managing to keep in front. And it always looks so much easier than it is. It's not that hard to get 10 bike lengths. It's extremely hard to get from 10 to 15 to 20 to 30.
Well, yesterday, Lotto were using Logan Curry in an attacking sense. Today, he is part of this lead-out. They've got Milan Menton third wheel, and they've got Matthew Fox just in front of him. So this is about Menton, I'm pretty certain. I actually can't see Van Balen in there at all. So Milan Menton, where we'd expect him to be right now. Up come Groupama FDG on the right. They're overlapping with the Volker Wessels rider, who's in there and amongst them as well. Paul Magnier needs to be careful here that he doesn't get boxed in on the inside. He's got 4 teammates right in front of him. And Josef Czerny is involved in that lead-out train. In fact, if I'm reading numbers correctly, it looks like Josef Czerny might be the last man to go, and I can't believe that. No, it isn't. It is Dries van Gestel again. I did this yesterday, didn't I? Dries van Gestel is the final lead-out man, just ahead of Paul Magnier. We saw it worked yesterday, although they didn't have to chase down Nicholas Behrens. There is the 1K to go flag.
Baptiste Gregoire just dropping off the front, presumably looking back towards looking for Matthew Walls.
Yeah, let's see which way they choose to go, the boys from Groupama FDG. This is an impressive drive now from ATT. They have brought up Dominic Newman, who we saw earlier. Now here comes Lukasz Kubiš. He wants to go early, I think. Kubiš moving up in that best Slovak jersey. It's slightly downhill here, so it's going to be really fast. Paul Magnier still has 2 riders to go. It is Yves Lampert leading out, and it's Dries van Gestel ready to go. A sweeping right-hander, there it is. We know it tightens round here. They've got to be careful. There's where it comes back in on itself. Paul Magnier ready to go. Dries van Gestel dispatching. Look at the gap already back to Kubiš. They've done a job on this Soudal-QuickStep, and it's a job that's going to work, I think. Paul Magnier ready to go. Lukasz Kubiš on his wheel. Kubiš, can he come off the wheel this time? Paul Magnier going for the line. I don't think Kubiš can. Magnier's going to get 2 in a row here in Slovakia. He leads the race overall, and with that gets a 10-second bonus.
And cements a little bit more of a lead in the GC. That was a nicely done sprint. They just seemed to get a little bit of a gap on Kubiš in that final right-hander. Just as it tightened, he seemed to lose the wheel by half a length or so. A little bit out of the draft. Never really got back on terms. Another nice job.
They had a much easier affair of it as well, didn't they, Hutch? Not like yesterday where they had all the attacking to do. It was actually textbook, that couple of little attacks on that circuit, but nothing they couldn't handle. And in the end, Kubiš did his best, but actually didn't even come out of the wheel shadow of Paul Magnier in the end there. In fact, when we see it from on high, there was probably a bit more of a gap, but wow, that was a domination if ever we saw one.